Ginger, a 50-year-old black woman, had dedicated her life to service and knowledge. She served her country as a veteran, carrying the weight of that experience with her. She pursued higher education, earning multiple degrees and honing her skills. Ginger's resume was a testament to her hard work and her desire to contribute. She was a valuable asset to any team. But life had taught Ginger that the world didn't always recognize the strength of a black woman. Ginger was a disabled veteran, facing challenges invisible to most. She navigated a world designed for others, constantly proving her resilience. Despite the hurdles, her spirit remained undimmed. She knew her worth, even when others struggled to see it. Ginger refused to be defined by limitations placed upon her. She was a force to be reckoned with. For years, Ginger worked diligently at a company in Illinois. She excelled in her role, consistently exceeding expectations. Her colleagues respected her insights. Her managers relied on her expertise. Yet, when it came to promotions, Ginger was consistently overlooked. The management positions she was more than qualified for were always filled by others. It was a familiar sting for Ginger, the feeling of being underestimated and unseen. The company culture seemed to favor a certain mold when it came to leadership. Ginger, with her intersecting identities as a black woman and a disabled veteran, didn't fit that mold. She was often the only person of color in meetings. Her ideas, though innovative and well-received, were sometimes attributed to others. The message was clear, though unspoken. Her contributions were valued, but she was not.
So Ginger, can you tell us about a time you led a remote team successfully?
Then came the company reorganization. It was a time of uncertainty for many, but for Ginger, it felt like a new beginning. The company was looking for fresh leadership, and she saw this as her moment to shine. It felt like a chance, finally, for Ginger to be recognized. She had worked tirelessly, often going above and beyond her duties, and now it seemed like all her hard work was about to pay off. She applied for a management position, confident in her abilities. She meticulously prepared her application, highlighting her extensive experience and the numerous successes she had achieved with her remote team. The interview, conducted remotely, started off promisingly. Ginger felt at ease, her confidence bolstered by the positive feedback she had received from her peers and supervisors. But as it progressed, Ginger couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The initial warmth and enthusiasm from the interviewers seemed to wane, replaced by a more scrutinizing and detached demeanor.
How do you think your age might impact your ability to manage a dynamic team?
The interviewer, a new executive, seemed disinterested in her experience. His questions were curt, and his body language suggested he had already made up his mind. The questions took on a strange tone, focusing on her age and her ability to manage a team remotely as a disabled individual. It was clear that the interviewer was more interested in her personal circumstances than her professional achievements. Ginger, a seasoned professional, answered with grace and poise. She spoke passionately about her leadership style, her ability to inspire and motivate her team, and the innovative solutions she had implemented to overcome challenges. She highlighted her successes and her ability to lead effectively regardless of location. She shared stories of how she had turned struggling projects into success stories and how her team had thrived under her guidance. But the damage was done. The interview had taken a toll on her, and she could sense that her chances were slipping away. The enthusiasm she had felt at the beginning was now replaced by a sense of dread. The interview, instead of being an opportunity to showcase her talents, had become a blatant display of bias. Ginger left the interview feeling disheartened, knowing that despite her qualifications and experience, she had been judged on factors that had nothing to do with her ability to lead. As she reflected on the experience, Ginger realized that the road to recognition and respect was still fraught with obstacles. But she also knew that she would continue to persevere, driven by the same determination and resilience that had brought her this far. Despite the setback, Ginger remained hopeful. She knew that her journey was far from over and that her true worth would eventually be recognized by those who valued talent and dedication over superficial judgments. Section 4. Lost in the Wilderness. Shortly after the interview, Ginger received the news. She was being let go. The words echoed in her mind, a harsh reminder of the corporate world's unpredictability. The reason given was restructuring, but the sting of discrimination lingered. It felt like a convenient excuse, masking deeper issues within the company. She had poured her heart and soul into her work, only to be discarded without a second thought. The late nights, The missed family gatherings all seemed in vain now. The injustice of it all was staggering. Her colleagues were equally shocked, unable to comprehend the sudden decision. The confidence she had built over the years crumbled. Doubt crept in. Was she good enough? The mirror reflected a woman questioning her worth, her abilities. The job search that followed was a disheartening experience. Each application felt like a shot in the dark, with little hope of hitting the target. Ginger, with her impressive resume and years of experience, found herself facing closed doors. The optimism she once had was slowly fading. She went on countless interviews, each one feeling like a repeat of the last. The same questions, the same polite rejections, the same thinly veiled biases, the same dismissive attitudes. It was as if her qualifications were invisible, overshadowed by factors beyond her control. It was as if her age, race, and disability had become insurmountable barriers. The corporate world seemed to have no place for someone like her. A year passed, filled with rejections and self-doubt. Each rejection email felt like a personal attack, chipping away at her self-esteem. Ginger felt lost, her career in shambles. The once organized desk, now a chaotic mess of job applications and rejection letters, a stark contrast to her previous life. She often found herself wandering through the park, seeking solace in nature. The trees and the open sky offered a brief respite from her worries. In her search for answers, Ginger joined a support group. Listening to others' stories, she realized she wasn't alone in her struggles. She began reading self-help books, trying to rebuild her shattered confidence. Each page offered a glimmer of hope, a step towards healing. Volunteering became a new passion. Helping others gave her a sense of purpose, a reminder that she still had much to offer. Slowly, Ginger started to rebuild her life. The journey was far from over, but she was no longer lost in the wilderness. She had found a new path, one filled with hope and resilience. Section 5. Finding her voice. In the depths of her despair, Ginger found solace in writing. She started a blog, sharing her experiences and insights on her field of expertise. Her writing was raw, honest, and insightful. She wrote about the challenges she faced as a Black woman in a corporate world that often felt unwelcoming. She wrote about the importance of diversity and inclusion, not just in words, but in action. Her words resonated. People from all walks of life flocked to her blog, drawn to her authenticity and her willingness to speak truth to power. Her blog became a beacon of hope for those who had been marginalized and overlooked. She used her platform to uplift others, to share their stories, and to advocate for change. Ginger, once silenced, had found her voice, and it was powerful. Section 6. The tables have turned. As Ginger's blog gained traction, so did her influence. She became a sought-after speaker, sharing her story and her expertise at conferences and workshops. Her insights, once dismissed in corporate boardrooms, were now being lauded by industry leaders. She had become an accidental entrepreneur, turning her pain into purpose. Her blog, once a refuge, was now a thriving business. Then came the irony of ironies. Her old company, the one that had so unceremoniously let her go, reached out. They were in need of her expertise. They wanted to hire her as a consultant, offering a hefty sum for her time. Ginger, reading their email, couldn't help but laugh. The company that had undervalued her, that had failed to see her worth, was now desperate for her knowledge.
What the company didn't know was that Ginger was no longer the same woman who had walked out of their office a year ago, defeated and disillusioned. She had faced numerous challenges and had been through a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. The experiences she had endured had only made her stronger, more resilient, and more determined to succeed. She had taken the time to rebuild herself, to understand her worth, and to find her voice in a world that often tried to silence her. She was now a force to be reckoned with, her voice amplified by a loyal following and a newfound sense of self-worth. Ginger had become a beacon of hope and inspiration for many, especially for those who had faced similar struggles. Her story resonated with people from all walks of life, and her determination to rise above adversity had garnered her a significant following. She was no longer just an employee. She was a leader, a mentor, and a symbol of empowerment. She was also, unbeknownst to them, sponsored by a major international organization that championed the rights of disabled employees. This organization had recognized her potential and had provided her with the resources and support she needed to make a difference. They had seen in her the qualities of a true leader, someone who could bring about change and advocate for those who were often overlooked and marginalized. The organization had been following her story, inspired by her resilience and her advocacy. They had watched as she transformed from a disheartened employee into a powerful advocate for change. Her journey had become a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the importance of standing up for one's rights. They were proud to support her and to be a part of her mission to create a more inclusive and equitable workplace.
Ginger politely declined their offer. She had come to realize that her worth was not defined by their validation or approval. She had found her own path and was determined to follow it, regardless of the obstacles that lay ahead. Her decision to decline their offer was a statement of her newfound confidence and self-respect. She had moved on and she was thriving. Ginger had built a successful career and had become a respected figure in her industry. Her achievements were a testament to her hard work, dedication, and unwavering belief in herself. She had proven that with determination and perseverance, anything was possible.
But she didn't stop there. Ginger was determined to use her platform to make a difference. She wanted to ensure that no one else had to go through what she had experienced. She began to advocate for better policies and practices in the workplace, focusing on diversity, inclusion, and equity. Her mission was to create a work environment where everyone felt valued and respected. She learned that the interviewer who had mistreated her during the reorganization had been fired. This news was a reminder of how far she had come and how much had changed. It was a moment of vindication, but also a reminder of the work that still needed to be done to create a fair and just workplace. He had reached out to her asking for a job at a burgeoning company. This unexpected turn of events highlighted the irony of the situation. The tables had turned, and now he was the one seeking her help. It was a powerful reminder of the importance of treating others with respect and dignity, regardless of their position or status.
Ginger, with the power of her convictions behind her, declined. Her message was simple, yet profound. Do better. She wanted to send a clear message that respect and integrity were non-negotiable. Her decision was not just about personal vindication, but about setting a standard for how people should be treated in the workplace. It was a message not just for him, but for all those who had underestimated her, for all those who had failed to see the worth of a Black woman who dared to dream big. Ginger's journey was a powerful reminder that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Her story was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the importance of standing up for what is right. She had shown that with courage and determination, it was possible to overcome adversity and achieve greatness.